Hey guys, this is your spiritual guidance from Nana. Nice to be back, No, there's nothing wrong with your screen. I've decided, guys, to speak to you from my heart, okay? And I wanted to tell you that I've been in prayer and meditation for you guys this morning, for all the collective and those that come on this side and watch me all the time. I appreciate you, appreciate your likes and your subscribes and shares and all that and comments. I just wanted to tell you that while I was preparing, I felt like I was drawn to this red deck that I have, and it's Soul's Connections. And I'm not usually drawn to this deck, I'll be honest with you. And so I took it out and I was just praying and stuff, and I was shuffling, and there was 3 cards that were stuck in it from another deck. It was so crazy. From the surrender deck, there was 3 cards. One of them had to do with low self-esteem, and another one had to do with surrendering fear and surrendering fear of intimacy. And the first card that came out of the Soul's Intentions deck was a message is trying to reach you from your spirit team. So maybe in this message there's something for you, okay? So I want you guys to just hold on, and we will get to what the Spirit of God is saying. When I pulled from the Soul's Connections, guys, for the pre-shuffle, what I saw was a lotus card. And I put it back in, and I shuffled 4 more times, and it came out again. And I felt like the Lord was trying to tell us something about that. So I looked up the spiritual meaning of a lotus, and of course there's, several different meanings, but the one thing that really stood out to me was that a lotus in a lot of places is a symbol of purity, rebirth, and overcoming challenges. Overcoming challenges. It's a symbol of hope. Because I didn't know this, but the lotus emerges from muddy water without stains. Usually you'll see a lotus, it's in a pond. So the roots of it is in muddy, murky water, but when it blooms, you don't see any of that on it. It's beauty, it's purity. And at nighttime it closes back up, it goes underneath the water, and then it blooms again. It kind of reminds me of the eagles rising. It also reminds me of the phoenix rising from the ashes, or the valley of dead bones that I've talked to you about before in Ezekiel, where there was a valley of dry bones, and the prophet brought a young prophet and said, "Speak to the bones." This message from your spirit team, they want you to stay vigilant. They want to touch you in this area that you're struggling with right now. Okay? Some of you are struggling within your mind. Here in the northern hemisphere, it's been winter, and a lot of times we find ourselves shut in a lot more. Find ways that you can do a creative hobby, that might bring some of the outdoors in, like plant a flower, or, I'm trying to say, inside, or put your hands in some dirt and buy some plants, or take care of some plants that you have. But I'm just saying that it feels like there's a disconnect, almost a little bit of a disconnect. I know that it can feel like that when you've lost someone. If you've been following me long enough, I lost my grandson, and there's these waves of Oh, I think I'm going to be okay today. And then there's a wave of, oh, I'm tired today. Oh, there's a wave of, oh, I'm sad today. There's different waves. But the one thing that Spirit of God was trying to encourage us on is that those roots that seem to be in the murky water, that seem to be in the mud, that seem to be covered over by shadows of pain and rejection and abandonment and fears, they're just asking you to surrender all of that. Surrender the murky waters, surrender the dark times, the shadow times, the times where you don't have self-esteem, the times where you're afraid of intimacy. You don't want people to see inside of what's really going on right now. Surrender the fears, the fearful stories that you're telling yourself. Try to stay in the moment. Because in that, I believe, when the lotus decides to bloom again, when the sun comes out, the lotus comes up to the surface and blooms again in the morning, I think you're going to find that there's going to be more downloads. There's going to be a new path that's going to come about for you, where you're going to embrace some of the new chapters with curiosity. And just remember, being open like a little child, okay, is what's going to help you to receive from your spirit team new insight, new visions, new developments. I think you're going through some things right now, like the thumbnail depicts. You're living in the day-to-day, you're doing the day-to-day things, but inside of you, there's something that's screaming out, that's wanting more, excuse me, than what you've got going on right now. Is wanting more clarification, is wanting more understanding and enlightenment of the things that are going on. And I think you're going to receive that, but I think it's going to take some time. And I know we don't like to hear that, We don't want to hear, oh my God, All we talk about is healing childhood wounds, healing. But it is true, guys. A lot of your life is about learning. It's about healing. And then there's going to be a time for you to act. There's going to be a time for you to stand up in your giftings and act. And it usually comes from this place of isolation that you've been in, this place of pain that you've gone through. You're going to find that there's going to be some projects that are going to be birthed out of that. Okay? Right now, you're being protected by your spirit team from negative forces. All right? But yeah, you're going to surrender the old stories that you've been telling yourself. There's some balance needed maybe in some of your relationships, where you're doing a lot of the giving, and it's time for you to receive. Don't run your battery dry, guys. Don't run your battery dry. Because when you do that, what happens? When you run your battery dry, you can't minister to anyone else. You can't reach out to anyone else. You don't have the energy and strength. I've been finding that in my life. They want you to break free from a tribe that you've been hanging around with, so that you can live your authentic life. For some of you guys, okay? It might not be everybody. Maybe there's just one or two people in your sphere. They said you need to be brave and be real, true to yourself with others. Be you and trust that those who love you will always be there for you. These changes and shifts that are going on, they're asking you to be a little bit more patient right now. Patience is not a word that any of us like, because that means more waiting, right? But you're strong. And there's a reason why. There's things that are going to come out of this this dark period, this shadowy period. Just don't let your mind bully your body, okay? Don't let your mind bully your body. Take care of you, all right? You've had a hectic time, whether it was at work, whether it was in a relationship, whether it was just the season that you're in and you're tired. Make sure you do enough to regenerate yourself, all right? Sorry, guys. Some of you are going to have a creative discovery during this time. And right now, you just need to protect your energy, okay? Because your energy field might be weakened right now. And so, build up your immune system, build up your mind by maybe taking a break from electronics and just listening to some music or going out into nature if you can. You may be in an environment where you're absorbing a lot of the negative energy. Find a place where you can pull back. Find a place where you can pull back, you, yourself, and you, all right? To recharge who you are, because you're worth it. Okay? You're totally worth it. You're going to be opening up in some areas, okay, to more intimacy with people, to take off your masks, show the real you, find out what's really beneath you. Not some people that I'm talking to, not many people know the real you, all right? But to step out into this past, this stuck place, you just need to take care of more of yourself, all right? Love you guys. Till next time.